In the heart of ancient tradition lies a text shrouded in mystery and intrigue, the Book of Enoch. Hidden for centuries, this enigmatic work offers a glimpse into a world teeming with angels, giants, and divine judgment. Passed down through generations, the Book of Enoch unveils a forbidden history, a time when the lines between heaven and earth blurred and the fate of humanity hung precariously in the balance. Our journey begins with this enigmatic text, a book both revered and rejected, its secrets whispered through the ages, waiting to be rediscovered. For centuries, the Book of Enoch has tantalized scholars and theologians alike. Excluded from the canonical scriptures, its stories have persisted, passed down through clandestine circles, and hidden within ancient libraries. Within its pages, we encounter a world both familiar and strange, a world where angels walk among humans, where giants roam the earth, and where the very fabric of creation trembles under the weight of divine judgment. Our exploration of the Book of Enoch promises to be a journey into the heart of ancient mysteries, a quest to uncover the hidden truths that have captivated and challenged humankind for millennia. The Book of Enoch stands as a testament to a time when the veil between the physical and spiritual realms was thin, a time when angels interacted with humanity, sometimes with devastating consequences. The stories within its pages offer a glimpse into the celestial hierarchy, the intricate workings of the cosmos, and the profound impact of spiritual forces upon the human world. As we delve into this ancient text, we must prepare ourselves for a journey beyond the familiar, a voyage into a realm where the boundaries of reality are tested and where the very nature of good and evil is thrown into stark relief. Join us now as we embark on this captivating exploration of the Book of Enoch. Together, we will unravel its enigmatic narratives, seeking to understand its message, its relevance, and its enduring power across the ages. Our quest will lead us through forgotten histories, celestial realms, and the depths of human experience as we uncover the ancient secrets veiled within the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch occupies a unique and controversial position within religious tradition. While excluded from the official canons of both Jewish and Christian scriptures, its influence echoes through both faiths. Revered by early church fathers and quoted within the New Testament itself, the Book of Enoch offers a bridge between the Old and New Testaments, enriching our understanding of the biblical narrative and the development of early Christian thought. Its stories of angelic rebellion, divine judgment, and messianic hope resonated deeply with early believers, shaping their worldview and influencing their understanding of salvation and the end times. Enoch, the book's central figure, occupies a prominent place in biblical genealogy as the great-grandfather of Noah. Known for his righteousness and unwavering faith, Enoch's story serves as a powerful testament to the possibility of walking closely with God. The biblical account describes Enoch's mysterious disappearance from the earth, stating simply that he was no more because God took him away. This enigmatic departure, coupled with the Book of Enoch's vivid descriptions of his heavenly journeys and visions, cemented his reputation as a prophet and visionary, a man who had glimpsed the divine mysteries hidden from ordinary mortals. Despite its exclusion from the official canons, the Book of Enoch continued to circulate among early Christian communities. Its themes of angelic conflict, the nature of sin, and the eventual triumph of good over evil resonated deeply with the nascent faith. Early church fathers, such as Justin Martyr, Tertullian, and Irenaeus, all made reference to the Book of Enoch, citing it as evidence for their theological arguments and drawing upon its imagery to illustrate their understanding of the spiritual world. While its canonical status remained debated, the Book of Enoch's influence upon early Christian thought and practice is undeniable. In later centuries, the Book of Enoch's influence waned within mainstream Christianity, dismissed by some as apocryphal and irrelevant. However, its legacy lived on in the margins, preserved by certain mystical and esoteric traditions who recognized its profound spiritual insights and its potential to unlock hidden truths within the biblical narrative. Today, the Book of Enoch experiences a resurgence of interest as scholars and seekers alike delve into its pages, seeking to unravel its mysteries and reclaim its forgotten wisdom. The Book of Enoch's origins remains shrouded in mystery, its authorship and date of composition debated by scholars. So, we, Riri and Iggy, do not say this is the divine word of God. We say that this is an interesting reading to give us insight into something we do not know about. It is not to be taken as a literal truth of God, but to give us hope in the things unbeknownst to us believers. Attributed to Enoch, the seventh generation patriarch from Adam, the book's various sections likely represent a compilation of texts written and assembled over centuries, reflecting the evolving beliefs and traditions of ancient Jewish mysticism. Discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls, fragments of the Book of Enoch confirm its existence in the Second Temple period, suggesting its circulation among Jewish communities prior to the destruction of the temple in 70 AD. While its precise origins remain uncertain, the Book of Enoch reflects a rich tapestry of ancient Near Eastern beliefs and traditions. Echoes of Mesopotamian mythology, Babylonian cosmology, and Persian dualism can be found within its pages, suggesting a cross-pollination of ideas and influences that shaped the religious landscape of the ancient world. The Book of Enoch's unique blend of biblical themes, apocalyptic visions, and esoteric knowledge places it within the broader context of Jewish apocalyptic literature, a genre characterized by its emphasis on divine judgment, angelic revelation, and the promise of a future messianic age. The Book of Enoch's exclusion from the Jewish and Christian canons stems from various factors, including its late date of composition, its disputed authorship, and its sometimes esoteric content. Rabbinic authorities ultimately rejected its inclusion in the Hebrew Bible, while early church fathers held differing opinions on its canonical status. Despite its exclusion, the Book of Enoch's influence can be felt throughout Jewish and Christian mystical traditions, its themes and imagery woven into the fabric of Kabbalistic thought and early Gnostic writings. Despite the controversies surrounding its origins and canonical status, the Book of Enoch continues to fascinate and intrigue. Its ancient wisdom, its vivid imagery, and its profound spiritual insights offer a unique perspective on the biblical narrative and the human condition. Whether approached as a historical curiosity, a source of mystical inspiration, or a window into the beliefs of the ancient world, the Book of Enoch invites us to engage with its mysteries and to grapple with its enduring message. Our exploration of the Book of Enoch promises to be a journey into the heart of ancient mysteries, a quest to uncover the hidden truths that have captivated and challenged humankind for millennia. We will delve into its enigmatic narratives, seeking to understand its message, its relevance, and its enduring power across the ages. Our quest will lead us through forgotten histories, celestial realms, and the depths of human experience as we uncover the ancient secrets veiled within this extraordinary text. Prepare to encounter a world both familiar and strange, where angels walk among humans, where giants roam the earth, and where the very fabric of creation trembles under the weight of divine judgment. We will explore the origins of the Watchers, the angels who abandoned their heavenly abode, succumbing to temptation and forever altering the course of human history. We will witness the birth of the Nephilim, the monstrous offspring of this forbidden union, and the corruption they unleashed upon the world. Through Enoch's eyes, we will journey through the heavens, witnessing the majesty of the divine throne room and the intricate workings of the cosmos. We will explore the realms of the dead, encountering the souls of the righteous and the wicked, awaiting their ultimate fate. We will witness the divine judgment upon the fallen angels and the catastrophic flood that cleansed the earth of its corruption. But our journey will not end in despair. The Book of Enoch also offers a message of hope, a vision of a future time when righteousness will prevail and the earth will be restored to its original glory. We will explore the prophecies of a coming messianic age, a time of peace, justice, and harmony, when the faithful will inherit the earth and dwell in the presence of the divine. Fasten your seatbelts, open your minds, and prepare to embark on an unforgettable journey through the pages of the Book of Enoch. Together, we will uncover its secrets, grapple with its challenges, and discover its enduring relevance for our own time. The journey begins now. The Book of Enoch opens with a chilling account of an angelic rebellion, a cosmic upheaval that sent shockwaves through the heavens and forever altered the destiny of humankind. Before the creation of man, before the Garden of Eden, a seed of discontent took root within the angelic ranks, a whisper of rebellion against the divine order. The angels, those beings of light and splendor, created to serve and worship the Most High, found themselves tempted by pride, consumed by a desire for forbidden knowledge, and lured by the allure of power. At the forefront of this celestial insurrection stood Shemyaza, a powerful and charismatic angel, his heart consumed by a thirst for dominion. Surrounded by a cadre of like-minded angels, Shemyaza began to question the established order, to covet the worship and adoration bestowed upon humanity. They gazed down upon the newly created earth, their angelic hearts filled with envy and a growing sense of resentment. Why should these fragile creatures of flesh and bone be granted dominion over the earth, while they, the angels, remain bound by their celestial duties? As Shemyaza's whispers of rebellion spread, they found fertile ground among the ranks of the Watchers, a special class of angels tasked with observing and guarding humanity. The Watchers, renowned for their wisdom and knowledge of the cosmos, had long witnessed the unfolding drama of human existence. They had marveled at humanity's capacity for both good and evil, their hearts stirred by a mixture of compassion and a growing sense of superiority. The seeds of rebellion, sown in the fertile ground of pride and envy, began to take root. The Watchers, once steadfast in their devotion to the divine will, found themselves questioning the justice of their position. Why should they, with their vast knowledge and celestial power, be subservient to these flawed and mortal creatures? As the lure of forbidden knowledge and the intoxicating promise of power whispered through their ranks, the Watchers stood poised on the brink of a fateful decision, one that would have catastrophic consequences for both heaven and earth. Driven by their forbidden desires and emboldened by Shemyaza's promises of power, 200 of the Watchers made a pact to defy the divine decree. Led by Shemyaza, they descended from their heavenly abode, their radiant forms illuminating the night sky as they plummeted towards earth. Their destination, Mount Herman, a towering peak shrouded in mist and mystery, a place where the veil between the physical and spiritual realms was said to be thin. As the Watchers descended upon Mount Herman, their angelic forms shimmered and transformed, adapting to the density of the earthly realm. They cast aside their celestial garments, assuming the guise of men, their hearts pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, for they knew that what they were about to do was a transgression against the divine order, a betrayal of their sacred duty. And yet, the allure of forbidden knowledge, the intoxicating promise of power, and the seductive beauty of mortal women proved too strong to resist. They had gazed down upon these daughters of men, their angelic hearts stirred by a desire they had never before experienced. And now, standing upon the slopes of Mount Herman, they prepared to claim these women as their own, to forge a forbidden union that would shatter the boundaries between heaven and earth. The air crackled with a strange energy as the Watchers gathered upon the mountaintop, their voices echoing through the valleys below. They swore an oath to Shemyaza, pledging their allegiance to his cause and vowing to share in the knowledge and power they sought. With hearts filled with both anticipation and a growing sense of dread, the Watchers prepared to consummate their forbidden union, an act that would unleash chaos and corruption upon the world. Under the cover of darkness, the 200 Watchers gathered on the windswept summit of Mount Herman, their faces illuminated by the ghostly glow of the moon. The air crackled with an unsettling energy as they prepared to seal their pact, their voices echoing through the valleys below, a chilling testament to their defiance of the divine order. With Shemyaza as their leader, they swore a solemn oath, binding themselves to their forbidden purpose. Each angel, his heart heavy with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, stepped forward to pledge his allegiance. They called upon the ancient powers of the universe, invoking the names of long-forgotten deities, their voices resonating with an eerie power that seemed to shake the very foundations of the mountain. They swore to defy the Most High, to claim the daughters of men as their own, and to share in the forbidden knowledge that would elevate them to a godlike status. As the final words of the oath echoed through the night, a palpable darkness descended upon the mountaintop, a suffocating blanket of evil that seemed to seep into the very souls of the watchers. The stars themselves seemed to dim, as if recoiling in horror from the sacrilege unfolding below. The covenant was sealed, the pact made, and the fate of both heaven and earth hung precariously in the balance. The watchers, now bound to their dark purpose, descended from Mount Herman, their hearts aflame with a potent mixture of lust, ambition, and a growing sense of unease. They had crossed a line, transgressed a boundary, and there was no turning back. The consequences of their actions would reverberate through the ages, unleashing a tide of corruption and violence that would threaten to engulf all of creation. Section 4. The birth of giants, the Nephilim, and the spread of corruption. The forbidden union of the Watchers and the daughters of men bore monstrous fruit, giving rise to a race of giants known as the Nephilim. These offspring, a grotesque mockery of both angelic and human nature, possessed a terrifying combination of strength, size, and insatiable appetites. Their birth marked a turning point in human history, unleashing a tide of corruption and violence that would threaten to consume the world. The Nephilim, towering over even the tallest of men, strode across the earth with an air of arrogance and entitlement. Their appetites were insatiable, consuming vast quantities of food and resources, leaving famine and devastation in their wake. They were driven by their base desires, engaging in acts of wanton violence and depravity, spreading terror and despair wherever they went. The very presence of the Nephilim seemed to warp the fabric of creation, poisoning the land, corrupting the animals, and twisting the very nature of humanity. The Watchers, initially enthralled by the power of their offspring, watched in growing horror as their creation spiraled out of control. They had unleashed a force of chaos and destruction upon the world, a force that threatened to consume everything in its path. The once peaceful coexistence between humanity and the natural world was shattered. The earth, once a garden of Eden, groaned under the weight of sin and corruption. The cries of the innocent, the victims of the Nephilim's insatiable appetites and violent impulses, rose to the heavens, a desperate plea for justice and deliverance from the monstrous offspring of the fallen angels. Section 5. Whispers of forbidden knowledge. The Watchers' dark gifts to humanity. The Watchers, consumed by their own desires and increasingly horrified by the consequences of their actions, sought to further solidify their hold on humanity. They began to share their forbidden knowledge with their human consorts, whispering secrets of the cosmos, revealing the hidden arts of magic and enchantment, and instructing them in the creation of weapons of war. Zazil, a powerful and cunning angel, took the lead in this dissemination of forbidden knowledge. He taught humans the art of metallurgy, instructing them in the creation of swords, shields, and other weapons of war. The once peaceful human tribes, armed with these newfound tools of destruction, turned on each other, engaging in brutal conflicts that spread like wildfire across the land. Other watchers, seeking to further bind humanity to their will, revealed the secrets of cosmetics and adornment. They taught women the art of enhancing their beauty, of using makeup and jewelry to accentuate their features and entice the desires of men. Vanity and lust spread like a plague, further corrupting the hearts of humankind and fueling the flames of discord and strife. The Watchers, in their arrogance and folly, had unleashed a Pandora's box of sin and corruption upon the world. Their forbidden knowledge, intended to grant them power and control, instead served to accelerate the descent of humanity into chaos and depravity. The earth, once a paradise of innocence and harmony, was rapidly becoming a battleground, stained with the blood of the innocent and shrouded in the shadows of sin. Section 6. The earth groans under sin, cries for justice, reach the heavens. The earth, once a vibrant tapestry of life and beauty, now groaned under the weight of sin and corruption. The Nephilim, monstrous in their appetites and unrestrained in their violence, rampaged across the land, leaving a trail of devastation and despair in their wake. The cries of the innocent, the victims of the giant's brutality and the Watcher's folly, rose to the heavens, a heart-wrenching chorus of anguish and despair. The very fabric of creation seemed to unravel under the strain of such widespread wickedness. The seasons became erratic, with storms of unprecedented fury lashing the land. The soil, once fertile and life-giving, withered and died, yielding meager harvests that did little to sate the insatiable hunger of the giants. Even the animals seemed to sense the impending doom, their once gentle natures twisted by the pervading sense of fear and despair. The cries of the oppressed reached the ears of the righteous angels, those who had remained faithful to the divine decree, their hearts filled with sorrow and indignation at the state of the world. They witnessed the suffering of humanity, the perversion of their angelic brethren, and the desecration of God's creation. They knew that something had to be done, that justice must be served. And so the righteous angels ascended to the throne room of the Most High, their hearts heavy with the burden of what they had witnessed. They prostrated themselves before the divine presence, pouring out their anguish and pleading for intervention. The fate of humanity, the sanctity of creation, hung precariously in the balance, awaiting the judgment of the Almighty. The cries of the oppressed, the anguished pleas of humanity, suffering under the tyranny of the Nephilim and the corruption wrought by the fallen angels, reached the heavens, echoing through the celestial realms until they reached the very throne of the Most High. A hush fell over the divine court as the angels, gathered before their Creator, listened with heavy hearts to the tales of suffering and despair emanating from the earth below. The air crackled with a palpable tension as the angels awaited the divine response. Whispers of judgment rippled through the assembled host, each celestial being acutely aware of the gravity of the situation. The sanctity of creation, the very fabric of the cosmos, hung precariously in the balance, threatened by the reckless actions of the Watchers and the monstrous offspring they had spawned. The Most High, seated upon a throne of radiant light, his countenance both awe-inspiring and inscrutable, listened intently to the pleas of his faithful angels. His gaze, filled with a profound sadness, seemed to penetrate the very depths of their souls, weighing their words, their thoughts, and the sincerity of their concern for the fate of humanity. A great council was convened, a gathering of the highest order, as the fate of both heaven and earth hung in the balance. The archangels, those mighty beings who stood closest to the divine throne, prepared to intercede on behalf of humanity, even as the whispers of judgment grew louder, a chorus of righteous anger demanding retribution for the transgressions of the fallen angels.
Four archangels, their forms radiating with an otherworldly light, stepped forward from the assembled host, their voices echoing with both sorrow and resolute determination. Michael, the valiant warrior angel, his countenance a mask of righteous anger, spoke first, his words carrying the weight of 1,000 thundering storms. He recounted the tales of violence and depravity, the suffering inflicted upon humanity by the Nephilim, and the desecration of God's creation wrought by the Watcher's reckless pursuit of forbidden knowledge.
Gabriel, the angel of revelation, his voice resonating with both power and compassion, followed, his words painting a vivid picture of the spiritual decay that had infected humanity. He spoke of the Watcher's betrayal, their seduction of mortal women, and the perversion of the divine gifts they had bestowed upon their offspring. He lamented the loss of innocence, the spread of wickedness, and the ever-widening chasm between humanity and their Creator.
Raphael, the angel of healing, his gaze filled with a profound sadness, spoke next, his voice a gentle but insistent murmur that seemed to soothe the very air. He spoke of the earth's pain, the scars left upon the land by the Nephilim's rampages, and the spiritual wounds inflicted upon humanity by the Watcher's betrayal. He pleaded for mercy, for a chance for both humanity and creation to heal, to find redemption amidst the chaos and despair.
Uriel, the angel of wisdom, his expression grave but hopeful, concluded the archangel's plea. He spoke of the divine plan, the eternal covenant between God and humanity, and the promise of a future time when righteousness would prevail. He reminded the Most High of humanity's capacity for both good and evil, their potential for redemption, and the importance of preserving the divine spark that still flickered within their hearts.
A profound silence descended upon the heavenly court as the archangels concluded their plea. The Most High, his expression unreadable, remained motionless upon his throne, the weight of his judgment heavy upon the hearts of all those assembled. Then slowly, deliberately he rose from his seat, his voice, when he spoke, echoing with a power that shook the very foundations of heaven. The Most High acknowledged the suffering of humanity, the pain of his creation, and the righteous anger that burned within the hearts of his faithful angels. He condemned the actions of the Watchers, their betrayal of their sacred duty, their transgression against the divine order, and the chaos and corruption they had unleashed upon the world. His judgment was swift and irrevocable. The Watchers, stripped of their angelic rank and privileges, were to be bound in chains of darkness, cast down into the abyss, and held there until the day of judgment. Their monstrous offspring, the Nephilim, were to be eradicated from the face of the earth, their reign of terror brought to an end. And yet, amidst the pronouncements of judgment, there flickered a glimmer of hope. The Most High, in his infinite mercy, had not abandoned humanity entirely. He would cleanse the earth of its corruption, washing away the sins of both men and angels, and offer a new beginning, a chance for creation to heal and for humanity to find redemption. Section 4. The Binding of Zazil, confined to darkness, awaiting final judgment. Among the fallen angels, none faced a more ignominious fate than Zazil, the cunning and prideful angel who had taught humanity the arts of war and seduction, fueling the flames of violence and corruption that now engulfed the world. His punishment, as decreed by the Most High, was to be a stark reminder of the consequences of defying the divine will.
Azazel, stripped of your angelic splendor, your form twisted and disfigured by your transgressions, you are dragged before the divine throne. Your eyes blaze with a mixture of defiance and terror.
He railed against his sentence, cursing his former brethren, and vowing to return and unleash even greater chaos upon the world. But his words were met with only silence and disdain.
With a swiftness born of righteous anger, I bind your hands and feet with chains forged in the fires of divine justice, sealing your fate.
Azazel, his struggles futile against the strength of the archangel, was cast down from heaven. His screams of rage and despair echoed through the celestial realms as he plummeted towards the earth. He landed with a thunderous crash in a desolate and forbidding wasteland, a place of jagged rocks, fiery pits, and perpetual darkness. There, bound and broken, Azazel would remain, a testament to the folly of pride and the swiftness of divine retribution, until the day of judgment, when he would face the full extent of the Most High's wrath. Section 5. The Deluge Foretold, Uriel's warning to Noah and the promise of a new covenant. As the fallen angels met their fate, the Most High turned his attention to the earth below. Though his heart was heavy with sorrow at the state of his creation, a flicker of hope remained. Amidst the widespread corruption, a single righteous man stood out, his heart pure, his faith unwavering. Noah, a descendant of Seth, the son of Adam.
Noah, the Most High has sent me with a message of both impending judgment and enduring hope. The earth will be cleansed of its corruption, the sins of both men and angels washed away with a great deluge.
Uriel instructed Noah to build an ark, a vessel of salvation, large enough to house his family and two of every living creature, preserving a remnant of creation from the coming destruction.
This ark will be your salvation, Noah. Build it with unwavering faith, for the world as you know it is about to end. But remember, this is also a promise of a new beginning, a new covenant between God and humanity.
Noah, his heart filled with a mixture of awe and trepidation, listened intently to Uriel's words, accepting the divine decree with humility and unwavering faith. He set about his task with a heavy heart, knowing that the world as he knew it was about to end, but clinging to the promise of a new beginning, a new covenant between God and humanity. The deluge would be both a punishment and a cleansing, a time of reckoning and a chance for renewal. From the ashes of the old world, a new world would emerge, one founded on righteousness, justice, and the enduring hope of a restored creation. Section 6. Enoch, the divine scribe, witness to judgment, and herald of hope. Amidst the upheaval and pronouncements of judgment, Enoch, the righteous patriarch, found himself thrust into a unique and awe-inspiring role. Chosen by the Most High to serve as his scribe, Enoch became both witness and chronicler of the celestial events unfolding before his eyes. Guided by angelic messengers, Enoch was taken on a series of extraordinary journeys, ascending to the heavens, traversing the celestial realms, and peering into the depths of the underworld. He witnessed the majesty of the divine throne room, the intricate workings of the cosmos, and the harrowing realms reserved for the judgment of the wicked. Enoch, his heart filled with both awe and sorrow, diligently recorded all that he saw and heard, his words preserving the divine decrees, the angelic pronouncements, and the visions of both judgment and hope for future generations. He became a conduit between heaven and earth, a herald of the Most High's will, entrusted with a message that would resonate throughout the ages. His writings, a testament to both the justice and mercy of God, would serve as a warning to the wicked, a source of hope for the righteous, and a reminder that even amidst the darkest of times, the divine plan unfolds, offering the promise of redemption, renewal, and a future time when righteousness will prevail. The heavenly ascent. Enoch journeys beyond the veil of the material world. Enoch, his heart pounding, found himself lifted from the material world by an invisible force. The ground receded, earth's sights and sounds fading as he ascended higher. The air grew thin and cold, the sky a swirling vortex of stars and celestial energy. Amidst the disorientation, a strange peace settled upon him. Angelic beings, radiating otherworldly light, surrounded Enoch. They were his guides, charged with leading him through the celestial realms. With gentle hands, they steadied him, their voices soft murmurs of reassurance. As Enoch ascended, the veil between realms dissolved, revealing celestial wonders. Stars blazed with an intensity that threatened to overwhelm his senses. Comets streaked across the cosmos, leaving trails of fiery brilliance. Planets vast and mysterious hung suspended in the void, their surfaces adorned with colors and patterns beyond human imagination. Through gates of fire and crystal, Enoch witnesses the wonders of the cosmos. Enoch's journey was a breathtaking odyssey through unimaginable beauty and grandeur. He passed through auroral light, navigated celestial rivers, and witnessed the birth and death of stars. Angelic beings guided Enoch, explaining the mysteries of creation and the cosmos. They revealed the secrets of time, space, and the interconnectedness of all things. Enoch passed through gates of crystal and fire, marking different celestial realms. He witnessed the celestial city, its towers reaching towards the infinite. He beheld celestial gardens, where exotic plants bloomed in a riot of color. He drank from celestial fountains, their waters rejuvenating his soul. Enoch felt profound awe and humility, overwhelmed by creation's majesty. The throne room of the Most High, Enoch, in the presence of unfathomable glory. Enoch's journey culminated in unparalleled awe and terror in the throne room of the Most High. The celestial city paled in comparison to the blinding glory of this sacred space. Words failed to capture the majesty and holiness that permeated every atom. The throne, crafted from an indescribable substance, radiated intense light. Surrounding the throne, a multitude of angels stood in silent adoration. Enoch, overcome with awe, prostrated himself before the throne. He felt insignificant, a mere speck in the presence of infinite power. Amidst his terror, he felt a strange sense of peace. From the blinding light, a voice boomed forth, shaking the foundations of heaven. It was the voice of the Most High, filled with righteous anger and profound sorrow. Section 4. The Book of the Watchers, recording the transgressions and the divine decrees. Enoch accepted the celestial stylus, its tip glowing with ethereal light. Before him lay a scroll, woven from starlight and shadow. He was to record the divine decrees, the history of the Watcher's transgressions and prophecies. The weight of responsibility pressed down upon him, but as he gazed upon the scroll, a sense of calm descended. The angelic presence guided his hand, prompting him with words and images. Enoch wrote of the Watcher's descent, their forbidden union, and the birth of the Nephilim. He recorded their transgressions and the corruption they unleashed. He detailed their punishment, their binding in chains of darkness, and their imprisonment in the abyss, awaiting the day of judgment. Section 5. The Angelic Guides. Uriel, Raphael, and Michael unveil the mysteries of creation. Throughout his journey, Enoch was accompanied by Uriel, Raphael, and Michael.
Enoch, behold the secrets of the cosmos, the movements of stars, the cycles of the sun and moon, and the dance of celestial bodies.
See the hidden connections between the physical and spiritual realms. The energies of the cosmos influence the health of all living things. Here are the celestial realms where souls go after death.
Understand the forces of good and evil that battle for supremacy. Learn the strategies of spiritual warfare and the triumph of light over darkness. Enoch listened intently, his heart filled with awe and gratitude. He realized he had been granted a glimpse into the heart of creation.
Section 6. The Prophecy of the Messiah. A glimmer of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. As Enoch's journey drew to a close, he was granted a vision of hope. Through a parting veil of celestial energy, he beheld a radiant figure. The figure, bathed in light, descended from the heavens. Surrounding the being, a chorus of angels sang praises. This was the Messiah, the chosen one, who would return to usher in an age of peace. He would vanquish darkness and establish a kingdom of love and harmony. Enoch etched this prophecy into his soul, knowing a brighter future awaited. The divine deluge, cleansing a world consumed by corruption. High above the earth, the heavens groaned, their tranquility shattered by the divine decree. Dark storm clouds gathered, blotting out the sun. The air grew heavy with the weight of impending judgment. The rains began as a gentle patter, soon transforming into a deafening roar. Torrents of water lashed down upon the earth, stripping away civilization. Rivers swelled, transforming into raging torrents. Mountains crumbled before the deluge. Forests disappeared beneath a churning sea of debris. The air crackled with the raw energy of the storm. Cities crumbled into ruin, their inhabitants swept away. The Nephilim, once lords of the earth, found their strength no match for the deluge. Their roars of defiance were swallowed by the storm. The Ark, a beacon of hope amidst the rising waters. Amidst the chaos, a solitary wooden structure remained afloat. This was the Ark, built according to divine specifications. Within its walls, Noah and his family huddled together. They felt the Ark shudder as it rode the waves. Yet, amidst their fear, a glimmer of hope remained. Surrounding them, a menagerie of creatures sought refuge. The air was thick with the sounds of their cries. Yet, even amidst the chaos, a sense of harmony prevailed. For 40 days and nights, the rains fell without respite. The world outside had transformed into a churning expanse of water. Through it all, the Ark remained afloat. Within its walls, the seeds of a new beginning were nurtured. The lament of the fallen angels, witnessing the consequences of their transgressions. Deep within the earth, the fallen angels watched in horror as the world was consumed by the deluge. Bound in chains of darkness, they listened to the cries of the dying. Shemiaza, once proud, now wept bitter tears of regret. The earth was being cleansed by a fury he had unleashed. Zazil, filled with despair, railed against his fate. His knowledge had only hastened humanity's destruction. The other watchers joined in the lament, their voices a chorus of anguish. They had sought to elevate themselves, but their ambition brought their downfall. The deluge served as a reminder that even powerful angels are not above the law. Their rebellion had unleashed chaos, and now they witnessed the consequences. Section 4. The earth renewed, a promise fulfilled, a new covenant established. As the rains finally subsided and the storm clouds parted, revealing a sky washed clean by the deluge, a sense of profound peace settled upon the ravaged earth. The floodwaters, having cleansed the land of its corruption, gradually receded, revealing a landscape transformed, scarred but not broken, its potential for beauty and abundance still intact. From the heavens, a brilliant rainbow, a symbol of the divine covenant and a promise of hope for the future, arched across the sky, its colors a vibrant testament to the enduring beauty of creation. The air, once heavy with the stench of decay and the cries of the dying, now carried the sweet scent of renewal. The fragrance of life returning to a cleansed and rejuvenated world. Atop a mountain peak, the Ark, its wooden hull battered but intact, came to rest, a symbol of faith and perseverance amidst the trials and tribulations of a fallen world. Noah, his heart filled with gratitude and awe, opened the Ark's doors, releasing its inhabitants into a world reborn. Animals eager to reclaim their place in the natural order emerged from the Ark, their cries of joy echoing across the silent landscape. Birds took flight, their wings tracing graceful arcs against the azure sky. Creatures of the land, their instincts guiding them, set off in search of food and shelter, their movements a symphony of renewed life. Section 5. Enoch's return, bearing witness, sharing wisdom, and preparing for the future. And what of Enoch, the righteous patriarch, the divine scribe, who had witnessed both the glories of heaven and the horrors of judgment? His task complete, his purpose fulfilled, he was returned to earth, his being transformed by his celestial experiences, his heart overflowing with wisdom and a profound sense of purpose. He found himself standing upon a mountaintop, the air fresh and clean, the world around him aglow with a vibrancy he had never before witnessed. The deluge had washed away the corruption that had stained creation, leaving in its wake a canvas upon which a new chapter in human history could be written. Enoch, his countenance illuminated by a celestial light, surveyed the transformed landscape, his heart filled with both awe and a sense of urgency. He had been granted a glimpse into the divine plan, had witnessed both the consequences of sin and the promise of redemption. Now he was tasked with sharing his wisdom, with guiding humanity towards a righteous path, one that would lead them away from the sins of the past and towards a future filled with hope and harmony. He gathered the remnants of humanity, those who had survived the deluge, and shared with them the stories of his celestial journeys, the lessons he had learned, and the prophecies he had been entrusted to deliver. He spoke of the importance of righteousness, compassion, and obedience to the divine will, emphasizing that the deluge served as a stark reminder of the consequences of straying from the path of righteousness. Enoch's words, imbued with the wisdom of the heavens, resonated deeply within the hearts of his listeners. They recognized in him a man transformed, a vessel of divine knowledge, and they listened intently to his teachings, eager to rebuild their lives and their world upon a foundation of righteousness and faith. The deluge had marked a turning point in human history, a time for reflection, repentance, and a renewed commitment to walking in harmony with the divine will. Section 1. The Shadow of Sin. Enduring corruption in a renewed world. The deluge had cleansed the earth, washing away the physical manifestations of sin. Yet the potential for corruption lingered, a shadow lurking at the edges of a renewed world. Humanity, though granted a fresh start, bore within their hearts the seeds of their ancestors' transgressions, the inherited capacity for both good and evil that had plagued humankind since the dawn of time. Enoch, his wisdom tempered by his celestial experiences, recognized this lingering potential for darkness. He saw how easily old habits could reassert themselves, how quickly the allure of power and the temptations of the flesh could lead even the most well-intentioned astray. The earth might be renewed, but the human heart, with its intricate web of desires and motivations, remained a battleground between the forces of light and shadow. He observed how, even amidst the beauty and tranquility of the post-diluvian world, envy, greed, and violence could still find fertile ground. He saw how easily the strong could exploit the weak, how readily the seeds of discord could be sown, and how quickly the fragile peace could unravel. The deluge had provided a respite, a chance for a fresh start, but the true test lay in resisting the allure of the old ways, in forging a new path, one founded on righteousness, compassion, and a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. Enoch knew that the battle for humanity's soul was far from over. The forces of darkness, though temporarily subdued, still lurked in the shadows, seeking to exploit any weakness any opportunity to reassert their dominion over the hearts and minds of humankind. The deluge had been a necessary cleansing, a painful but essential step in the divine plan. But the true work of redemption, of creating a world where righteousness prevailed, had only just begun. Section 2, Enoch's Warnings, a call to righteousness and a prophecy of future judgment. Enoch, burdened by the weight of his celestial knowledge and driven by a profound love for humanity, understood the importance of preserving the lessons of the past. He became a tireless teacher, traveling far and wide, sharing his wisdom and insights with all who would listen. His words, a blend of gentle guidance and stark warnings. He spoke of the watchers' transgression, their descent into darkness, and the devastating consequences of their pursuit of forbidden knowledge. He recounted the horrors of the deluge, the suffering it had inflicted, and the fragility of a world out of harmony with the divine will. His words, delivered with a somber authority, served as a stark reminder of the cost of sin, both individual and collective. Yet Enoch's message was not one of despair, but of hope. He emphasized the power of repentance, the possibility of redemption, and the transformative potential of aligning oneself with the divine will. He called upon humanity to learn from the mistakes of the past, to choose the path of righteousness, compassion, and justice, and to create a world where the seeds of discord and corruption would find no purchase. He spoke of a future time, a day of judgment, when the Most High would again intervene in human affairs, separating the righteous from the wicked, rewarding the faithful, and punishing the transgressors. This prophecy, delivered with a mixture of hope and trepidation, served as a powerful motivator, encouraging people to live in accordance with the divine will, knowing that their actions had eternal consequences. Section 3, the Book of Parables, unveiling the mysteries of the Messianic age. Enoch's celestial journeys had granted him a glimpse not only of the past and present, but also of the future, a future shrouded in mystery and pregnant with possibility. He had been shown visions of a time when righteousness would prevail, when the Messiah, the chosen one, would return to earth to establish a kingdom of peace, justice, and harmony. These visions, filled with allegorical imagery and cryptic symbolism, were difficult to comprehend, their full meaning hidden within layers of esoteric knowledge and spiritual insight. Yet, Enoch, guided by the wisdom of his angelic mentors, diligently recorded all that he had seen and heard, preserving these prophetic revelations within a collection of writings known as the Book of Parables. Within the Book of Parables, Enoch employed the language of symbolism and allegory to convey profound truths about the nature of good and evil, the struggle between light and darkness, and the ultimate triumph of the divine plan. He spoke of a coming judgment, a time of reckoning when the wicked would be punished and the righteous rewarded, their fates determined by the choices they had made during their earthly lives. He described the Messiah not as a conquering hero, but as a righteous judge, a shepherd who would separate the sheep from the goats, gathering the faithful into his fold and consigning the unrepentant to their fate. This messianic figure imbued with both power and compassion, would usher in an age of peace and prosperity, healing the wounds of creation and restoring harmony to a world long fractured by sin and strife. Section 4. The Heavenly Luminaries. Enoch's astronomical revelations and the cycles of time. Among the many revelations granted to Enoch during his celestial journeys were insights into the workings of the cosmos, the movements of the heavenly bodies, and the intricate cycles of time that governed the natural world. He learned of the sun, moon, and stars, not merely as celestial objects, but as integral components of a divinely ordained system, their movements and interactions reflecting the order and harmony of the Creator's grand design. Enoch, upon his return to earth, shared this astronomical knowledge with his followers, instructing them in the principles of timekeeping, the cycles of the seasons, and the significance of celestial events. He taught them to read the heavens, to recognize the constellations, and to understand the language of the stars, their movements a testament to the enduring power and wisdom of the Most High. This knowledge, passed down through generations, served as a foundation for the development of calendars, the tracking of the seasons, and the prediction of celestial events such as eclipses and solstices. It also fostered a deep sense of awe and wonder at the vastness and complexity of the cosmos, reminding humanity of their place within the grand scheme of creation. Enoch's astronomical revelations, preserved within his writings, stand as a testament to the interconnectedness of all things, the divine order that governs both the heavens and the earth, and the profound wisdom embedded within the very fabric of creation. They invite us to look beyond the confines of our earthly existence, to marvel at the wonders of the cosmos, and to recognize our place within the grand tapestry of the universe. Section 5. A Legacy of Wisdom. Enoch's enduring message of hope, judgment, and the triumph of good. Enoch, his earthly sojourn drawing to a close, entrusted his writings to his descendants, knowing that their wisdom and insights would be needed in the ages to come. His words, a tapestry woven from celestial visions, prophetic pronouncements, and profound spiritual reflections, would serve as a guiding light for generations grappling with the complexities of life, death, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. The Book of Enoch, though excluded from the official canons of Jewish and Christian scripture, continued to circulate among mystical and esoteric circles, its message resonating with those seeking a deeper understanding of the divine plan, the nature of reality, and the fate of humanity. Its influence can be traced through various religious and philosophical traditions, its themes and imagery echoing in the writings of mystics, prophets, and visionaries throughout the ages. Enoch's legacy is one of hope, judgment, and the enduring triumph of good over evil. His writings remind us that our choices have consequences, that righteousness and justice are not mere abstractions, but fundamental principles that govern the universe, and that even amidst the darkest of times, the divine spark within each of us, if nurtured and allowed to flourish, has the power to illuminate the path towards a brighter future. As we delve into the depths of Enoch's wisdom, we are invited to embark on our own journey of spiritual exploration, to confront the shadows within ourselves and the world around us, and to embrace the transformative power of faith, compassion, and a deep reverence for the sacredness of all creation. Enoch's message, though ancient, speaks to the very heart of the human condition, offering guidance, inspiration, and a timeless reminder that even amidst the trials and tribulations of life, hope endures, righteousness prevails, and the divine plan continues to unfold. Echoes of Enoch, the book's influence on religious and cultural thought. The Book of Enoch, though relegated to the fringes of canonical scripture, has cast a long and influential shadow across the landscape of religious and cultural thought. Its themes, imagery, and profound spiritual insights have resonated through the ages, influencing the development of various mystical and esoteric traditions, inspiring artists and writers, and sparking theological debates that continue to this day. Echoes of Enoch's celestial journeys and his encounters with angels and demons can be found in the mystical traditions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. His descriptions of the heavenly realms and the intricate hierarchy of angels influenced the development of angelology, the study of angels, while his accounts of the fallen angels and their monstrous offspring provided a rich source of inspiration for demonology, the study of demons. The Book of Enoch's influence extends beyond the realm of religion, its themes and imagery finding expression in art, literature, and popular culture. From the epic poems of John Milton to the fantastical novels of Neil Gaiman, from the haunting canvases of William Blake to the evocative films of Darren Aronofsky, artists and storytellers have drawn upon the rich tapestry of Enochian imagery to explore themes of good and evil, heaven and hell, sin and redemption. Even in a secularized world, the Book of Enoch continues to exert a powerful hold on the human imagination. Its themes of angelic rebellion, divine judgment, and the enduring struggle between light and darkness resonate with our deepest fears and aspirations, reflecting timeless questions about the nature of good and evil, the purpose of human existence, and the possibility of transcendence. A timeless message for a modern age. Enoch's relevance in a world grappling with moral and spiritual questions. In a world grappling with complex moral and spiritual questions, facing unprecedented technological advancements and struggling to find meaning amidst the relentless pace of modern life, the Book of Enoch offers a timeless message that speaks to the very heart of the human condition. Its ancient wisdom, though couched in the language and imagery of a bygone era, addresses perennial concerns that transcend time and culture. Enoch's journey from righteous patriarch to celestial visionary reminds us that even amidst the trials and tribulations of earthly existence, our capacity for spiritual growth and connection to the divine remains intact. His encounters with angels and demons, his explorations of the heavenly realms and the depths of the underworld serve as powerful metaphors for the inner landscapes we all must navigate, the choices we face, and the consequences of our actions. The Book of Enoch's emphasis on righteousness, justice, and compassion as guiding principles for human conduct resonates deeply in a world often characterized by greed, violence, and a disregard for the sanctity of life. Enoch's warnings about the consequences of sin, both individual and collective, serve as a sobering reminder that our actions have far-reaching implications, not only for ourselves, but for future generations and the delicate balance of creation itself. In an age of technological marvels and scientific advancements, the Book of Enoch reminds us that there are realms of existence beyond our immediate perception, dimensions of reality that defy rational explanation and scientific inquiry. It invites us to approach the mysteries of the universe with a sense of humility and wonder, acknowledging the limits of human knowledge and embracing the possibility of encountering forces and intelligences that lie beyond our current understanding. The search for meaning in a complex world. Enoch's insights into the human condition, the nature of good and evil, and the search for transcendence. The Book of Enoch, though rooted in a specific time and culture, grapples with universal questions that have captivated and challenged humankind for millennia. Its exploration of the human condition, the nature of good and evil, and the search for transcendence offers valuable insights for those navigating the complexities of life, seeking meaning and purpose amidst the often overwhelming challenges of the modern world. Enoch's journey reminds us that the search for meaning is often fraught with challenges, setbacks, and moments of profound doubt. His encounters with the Watchers, the fallen angels who succumbed to temptation and brought chaos to the world, highlight the seductive nature of power, the alluring yet ultimately destructive consequences of pursuing knowledge and pleasure at the expense of wisdom and compassion. The Book of Enoch's depiction of the divine judgment, the flood that cleansed the earth of its corruption, serves as a stark reminder that our choices have consequences, both for ourselves and for the world around us. Yet, amidst the pronouncements of judgment, there is also a message of hope, a recognition of humanity's capacity for redemption, and the possibility of forging a new path, one aligned with the divine will and characterized by righteousness, justice, and love. Enoch's celestial journeys, his explorations of the heavenly realms and the depths of the underworld, can be interpreted as metaphors for the inner landscapes we all must explore, the heights of spiritual enlightenment and the depths of human despair that we encounter on our journeys of self-discovery. His encounters with angels and demons, both benevolent and malevolent forces, reflect the internal struggles we all face, the battle between our higher and lower selves, and the choices we make that ultimately determine our destiny. Beyond the forbidden, embracing the mysteries, and continuing the quest for spiritual enlightenment. The Book of Enoch, with its enigmatic narratives, its blend of history, mythology, and spiritual revelation, invites us to embrace the mysteries of existence, to acknowledge the limits of human understanding, and to approach the unknown with a sense of humility, curiosity, and a willingness to expand our perceptions of reality. It challenges us to look beyond the confines of dogma and tradition, to seek truth and wisdom wherever they may be found, and to embark on our own journeys of spiritual exploration and discovery. As we close the pages of this ancient text, let us carry with us its enduring message of hope, its call to righteousness, and its reminder that even amidst the darkness and chaos of the world, the divine spark within each of us, if nurtured and allowed to flourish, has the power to illuminate the path towards a brighter future. The Book of Enoch, though shrouded in mystery and controversy, continues to offer valuable insights for those seeking a deeper understanding of themselves, the world around them, and the mysteries of the human spirit. Its timeless message, its evocative imagery, and its profound spiritual insights invite us to embark on our own journeys of exploration and discovery, to embrace the unknown, and to continue the eternal quest for knowledge, wisdom, and the divine spark that resides within us all.